today's session is how to create a interface. So click on the new button and go to the interface and click on interface and please give your name. I am giving the registration form here. And description this you need to do the you need to give the description for the each and every object while creating. And you can see we have two types of modes. So the first mode is create from scratch and duplicate the existing interface. What is the difference between the create from scratch and duplicate the existing? So if you don't have anything initially, you need to start from the scratch, then you need to select create from the scratch. Are you having are you having any existing interface? You want to do some few changes, then you can use duplicate existing interface and it will be saved into the HPA rules and folders and rules and constants folder. So if you click on create, it will redirect into the development page. So in this development page, we have two types of things are there, and first one is design mode and second one is expression mode. So what is the difference between these two modes? So if you want to drag and drop anything without coding, you can do drag and drop here in this design mode. Or else if you want to write any sale components, then you can go with expression mode. So most of the developers, they will prefer in app only. I'm taking only Appian developers. They will go with expression mode only. They will prefer expression mode. Why? Because drag and drop is very easy compared to the expression mode. So if you learn expression mode, then it will be easy for you drag and drop. So here is nothing but we are drag and drop the things. So if I want to drag and drop a layout, so the cart layout came here, and you can see inside the configurations is there. Do the columns layout inside this is there, and I want to put a date field here inside the first column. Date field is there, and any barcode is also there. Drop down is also there. So this is the way we can drag and drop the things. But most of the developers, they won't prefer this drag and drop. 99%. Yeah. So go to the expression mode, and you can see here rule inputs and local variables. What is the difference between the rule inputs and local variables? Previously, I think you heard about the global variables and local variables in previous your experience. Anyone? What is the difference between the global variables and local variables? If you know, please unmute yourself and please tell.
Yeah,
Or else I
local
will
is
go for it.
for that particular instance. Global is something across the application.
Yes, yes, yes. Same thing here also. Rule inputs works like a global variables. So if you
Mhm.
configure the local variables here itself, you can use entire application. But if you configure the local variables, it will be uses within the application. Within the interface only. Only this particular interface, the local variables stored the data. But if you want to refer this particular data into the other objects, it won't be provided if you configure any local variables. So this is the reason. So previously we just created a data type, right? So we are configuring those data type into the rule inputs. So I'm just giving my rule input name is registration. And you need to select your registration form type. What is my prefix? HRF, Harsha banking. I mean, sorry, HBA, Harsha banking application. So if you search your prefix, then it will be automatically shows your data type here. I'm selecting my data type here. Then click on create. Your role input is created successfully. So once the role input is created, we need to create a registration form here first. And you know about the email writing. While you are writing an email, we must need to follow header, body, and footer. And each and every form also having the same thing, same structure. Header is nothing but form header, and the contents is nothing but inside the fields like a name, date of birth, and the address, like these fields. And footer is nothing but buttons. So if you want to hold header, contents, and footers, so we must need a layout. We have 10 plus layouts on I mean in Appian. So now I am going to use form layout. You just type on form. In the drop down, it will come the related things regarding the form. So I'm selecting form layout here. Once you selected the form layout, you can see here the description of the form layout. Displays any arrangement of layouts and components. This is the exact definition of the form layout. And label to show when. These are the parameters which are consisting of the form layout. By using these parameters, we can configure the form layout. So the first thing is label. You just expand the form layout and give it the label. In the double quotes, I'm just giving it's a registration form. So you can see the same thing, backend and front end, you can see here itself. We are doing the code here and it is representing here itself only. So the header part is completed and you can see the next parameter here, instructions. Now we don't need the instructions here. You can go with the contents. So we are having more than one field. So I'm taking these flavor braces. So why? Because I'm having multiple contents inside the farm layout. I'm just expanding these contents, and so I'm having nearly 15 fields. 15 fields. So I want to segregate those fields into the columns. Like in this interface, I want to segregate in this interface into three parts: first column, second column, and third column. So for that purpose, I need to create a columns layout. So you just search columns layout, and you can see the parameters inside the columns layout. Columns, align vertical, show when, margin below, and up to margin above. Just expand the columns layout, and you need to call the columns. So inside the columns only, we can create up to three columns. I mean, for now, my requirement is three columns only. So if you want more than that, you can go ahead. So please give the clever braces and open it. And you need to select the column layout here, column layout. And I want three, right? So I'm selecting three at a time. Column layout again, and one more column layout. Yeah. So open the first column layout here, and we have only inside the column layout we have only three parameters: contents, width, showing. We just open the contents. Inside the contents we can configure anything. Contents, and I want to show first name under the registration form. So I'm just calling the text field. Why? Because first name it should be always a text. So I'm just calling the text field, and open this text field. You can see lot of parameters inside the text field, from label to show characters count. So I'm just calling label post name. My label is post name, and here you can see if I entered anything, it is not holding anything here. So for that purpose, you need to call value. Value is nothing but you need to map your data type to data type here. What is my data type name? Registration form, and it is in rule inputs. So we have a shortcut to call the rule inputs here. RI bank registration form dot post name. Now it is successfully mapped, and we need to save the location. By you need to save anything, you just use save into the same thing. RI bank registration form dot post name. So if you entered anything here, it will be stored here itself. You can see now the post name is a Harsha. If you entered anything, it will be stored here. Only we are mapping the data type into the interface by using these rule inputs. Did you guys understand? Okay. So if you want to talk, please unmute yourself and please go. And after the first name, uh, besides of the first name, I want middle name. So I'm just configuring the second column layout. Expand the second column layout and give the contents. Inside the contents, we can configure same thing. So middle name also a text field. Please click on the text, label, middle name. Same thing, value. If you want to hold anything, you just give the value on other than registration form dot middle name. For saving to also we need to give the same thing. Other than registration form dot middle name. And after the middle name, I want to show last name also. So that is the reason I'm picking this third column layout and expand it with the contents. Inside the contents, you just call the text field again and give the label for the text field, last name, and give the value and save in column or a bank registration form of last name. For the save int also, you need to give the same thing. Or a bank registration form of last name. So if you entered anything here, so it will goes to the first name as Harsha and middle name Gigi and last name finance. So the same thing we need to do for the mobile number, gender, email address, date of birth, created on is active. Okay. So first name is completed, middle name also completed, last name. So I'm going with mobile number now. So below the first name, I want to showcase the mobile number. So I'm just going to the first name field here, and after the first name, I'm configuring the mobile number. And mobile number also, I'm taking a text field. And just remember one thing: after completing the field, you just need to give the comma and expand the
Uh,
text field
Ram,
again.
Ram, can you hear me, Ram?
Yeah.
Yeah. Quick
This,
question. Sorry to interrupt
yeah.
you. So line
Okay.
number
Please.
22 and 23, 22 and 23. So what I came to understand is okay, CDT is something a data type. In data type, you have multiple variables and you are reusing the variables here. I mean, you are just trying to map them, right?
Yes.
Map
Yes.
them
Yes.
and save it. Since you already added your CDT in rule inputs registration form, okay, you are mapping it to the value. Okay, you are mapping the middle name to RI registration form dot middle name. You are already mapping. Then why are you again doing save into tag here? Why are you
Yeah.
using line
Yeah.
number 23?
I'll show you what is the difference
Okay.
between the saving to and so without I mean without saving to what will be happen. So if you give anything here, I'm just giving something here.
Mm-hmm.
It can't hold. So I just why because I'll show you again. Previously we have on some more data here. So now it is fresh form. I'm giving something here.
Mm-hmm.
So it can't hold. So value is nothing but whatever the data you want to represent inside the field is value. Once the representation is done, if you want to save the same thing into the particular location, you need to give the saving.
But
So
you no need to
practically,
give
I'll
the
show you
value,
one thing.
right? I mean, if it is not saving, we no need to
Uh,
give the value tag, right?
no, no, definitely we need to give the value and save into parallel. Why? Because I'll show you. So I'm just
Okay.
giving here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for the value, I'm just hard coding something here. I'm just giving middle
Mm-hmm.
name as Ram, and here you can see this middle name. But here, the rule input not saving the middle name, right? So
Okay.
if you
You are
want to
hard.
save this middle name into the yeah, if you want to save the save the middle name into, you can use save into. So I'm
Okay.
just calling RA bank
Mm-hmm.
registration dot middle name.
Okay. 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 So what if you remove the value
So
tag
it
and just you only save into tag?
yeah okay. If you want to remove the thing, okay,
Yeah. So whatever you are
if you
entering,
entered
it is
anything,
going and it is going and saving into that middle name, right?
yes. But here you can't see the value, but it will stores in the role input and you can't see anything. If you
I
entered
got
anything,
it.
it will be
Yeah.
goes into the yeah for
Understood.
the
So it
holding
is, so it
purpose
is
we
just
need
to
to give
map.
the value.
Yeah, just to hold. Okay, holding purpose. So, and one more question, since I haven't joined yesterday. You are creating an interface, right? So, interface is something. I mean, is it something just the form, just developing a form? Interface means, or does it have any other meaning?
Develop it is a user. I mean, the end user will interact with only this object.
Okay, interface.
It is
Okay,
a
that is
front end.
called as.
Yeah, from your
Okay,
side, yeah, it is a front end thing.
okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. So I want to show mobile number under the first name. You need to configure in the same column
Mm-hmm.
label. And what is my label? Mobile number. For mobile number also, you need to give the same thing value and save into the bank registration form dot mobile number. Save it.
So you are just doing the mapping and saving it into DB. I mean, it's just a simple form. I understand. So what
Not
happens
DB,
if we
not
do this?
DB.
Okay, into CDT.
Yes, yes, into data type only. So we need to
Okay, into data.
establish the connection between the database and
Mm-hmm.
CDT after the
Okay,
creating of this interface.
got it, got it. So if you do the same, I mean, if you design the same form in the form builder earlier, what you showed in the design section, just by dragging and dropping. So will
Yes,
I
yes,
mean, since you just did the mapping and you are just doing a save into. So can we do the same in
yeah,
design?
yeah, same.
In the drag
Yeah,
and
we
drop
can do
also.
that.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
we can do that.
and it will generate the same code,
Yeah,
right?
yes, yes. So I'll
Oh,
show you in the. I'll create a one field by using drag and drop. Email field.
okay, okay.
Below the middle name, I
Yeah,
want a email field. So I'm just switching
okay,
into the design mode. You, you can search
okay.
the text field here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, text. So just drag and drop, and you can place it here, and then you can see the configuration panel here. Yeah, you can see the configuration panel here, and you can rename here itself, and you can say email ID,
Mm-hmm.
and to go ahead, display value.
Okay, display value.
You can see
Okay.
email ID. You need to select the same thing, and for save into email ID,
Mm-hmm.
done. Configuration is done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Got it.
Yeah. So if
So
you entered
then
anything,
what is the difference? What all can we do in the expression mode additionally, other than the design part, other than doing it in a design section?
same thing. Mostly 99% the same thing we can do that. But
Okay.
so if you do the design part, you are not familiar with the sale components. Like so, you just drag and drop the text here, and you are giving the label, and you are selecting the values and saving to.
Okay. Okay. So
So, but
we can disable. So we can disable the field. We can enable the field based upon conditions. Can we do all those in the design section? Let's say if I have a checkbox, and if I check the checkbox, I need to enable a text box. And if I uncheck the checkbox, and it should disable the
yeah,
checkbox
we
thing.
can do that.
All those.
Yeah, we can
Okay.
do that.
Okay. 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 Got it.
So those are the advanced topics, and we can do that in this thing.
Yeah, I was
Whatever
just
the
yeah
things we are
trying to
doing.
understand the difference, Ram. Yeah, got it. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's good. So what is the next thing? Date of birth. For date of birth, we need to take a date field, last name, under the last name. So I'm just keeping comma, and I'm calling date field here. Date field, and give the label, date of birth, and value, are a bank, registration dot date of birth. Same thing, save into other bank registration form dot date of birth. So the date of birth fields are also completed. What we have gender. So for gender, we need to take a radio button fields. After the mobile number, you need to call radio button field, and label gender. Same thing, value other than registration form dot gender. Same thing, save into other than registration form dot gender. So here we need to give the choice labels and choice values. Why? Because gender consisting of three things: male, female, and others. So I'm just calling the choice values and choice labels. So for this purpose, you can do hard coding, or else we need to create a constant. So for now I'm just creating. I'm doing hard code. Male. I'm giving the text array. Female and others. For the same thing, choice values also. You just copy and paste it here simply. Here you can see male, female, and others. If you select anything, it will goes to the rule input in the gender session. So we can't do this type of hard coding for each and every time. So without hard coding, how we can do that? Go to the objects and click on new and select the constant. You can scroll down and you can find the constant here. So click on the constant, and while creating a constant, it should be always uppercase. For gender, I am creating a constant, and male, female, it comes under text. So I'm just selecting text here in the drop down and click on array. Why? Because they are having multiple values, male, female, and others. So the three values are completed. You just click on the create. The constant is created, and now you can refer those constants here. You need to remove the values, I mean choice labels and choice values, and and you need to call the constant here. We have a shortcut to call a constant, nothing but cons bank. My application prefix is HBA, and my constant is HBA gender. I'm selecting the same thing, and you need to call the same thing here, cons bank HBA gender. Yeah, you can see the same thing here. If I select the female is the value changes here, and if I select the other, it will changes here itself. And what is the next thing? Last name, last name, mobile number also done, gender also done, email also done, address, and documents. Mm, for address, I want a paragraph field after the email ID. So I'm just closing this field and giving the comma, and I'm just calling the paragraph field here label address, and same thing value arrow registration form dot address, save into arrow dot registration form dot address. Yeah, almost all the fields are covered, and easy active created by creator and document we will configure tomorrow. Why? Because you need to do the same thing, right? So after the configurations is done, you need to select, I mean, you need to click on the save changes. It will changes the code what we have done up to now. So up to now we have done 67 lines of code. So I'm just recapping the session here. Uh, Today I just created a interface, and in the interface we have two modes: design mode and expression mode. So design mode is nothing but without cell coding, we can drag and drop the things here and go to the expression mode. You need to write the code in cell language. I mean, it is not a code. We are just calling the components and mapping the things here. First, first I took a form layout and I gave label here, and while giving any label, it should be, you need to give the label inside the double quotes only. So you can see I just gave the registration form inside the double quotes. After the label is completed, you just keep the comma and go to the next parameter contents. In these contents, I have taken columns layout. Why? Because I want to segregate my registration form into three parts: first part, second part, and third part. Here you can see columns layout. Inside the columns layout, I taken columns and I gave clever brackets here, and I'm opening these clever brackets. I have three column layouts. The first column, it is representing the first name, mobile number, and gender, and second column, middle name, email address, and third column, last name, date of birth. So if you open the first column, you can see the configurations of the first column. So in this first column, here visually we are having three fields: first name, mobile number, and gender. For the text, the first one, the eighth line, it comes under first name only. For the first name, I'm taking the text field, I'm giving the label, and I'm mapping the my data type here by using value and saving to. And for same mobile number also, I just taken a text field here, and I'm giving label, value, and saving to for the mobile number. And after that, it is quite different from the text field and radio button field. So for visual representation, I just have taken it as a radio button fields. So if you open the radio button field, label, value, and save into same for the radio button field also. What is the remaining thing? If you want to showcase male, female, and others inside the form, you can configure the choice labels and choice values. For choice labels and choice values, I just created a constant by using this new button. I just created a constant by selecting this constant. So while creating a constant, you need to remember one thing. You need to select the type is text and you can select this box, but because we are giving the multiple values and You need to give the values here. Male, the first row male and second row female and third row others. Once your configuration is done, click on the save and go to the interface, and in the choice labels and choice values you need to call your constant here by using const bind. Once the constant is arrived, and it will shows the values inside the constant. So my first column is completed, and now I'm going to close this first column and go to the second column. You can see second column we have middle name, email ID and address. For middle name I just taken a text field here and configuring the label as a middle name and value save into, and for the email ID also same thing. Here you can see you can getting two more extra parameters here, refresh after and validations. What is the reason? We are just drag and drop the email field by using design mode. That is the reason we are getting two more extra fields here. So we don't need this now, we don't need these things, and label position also. So, yeah, after the email ID we just call a paragraph field. Why? Because compared to the text field, paragraph is some amount of bigger. So if you add anything here, sorry, yeah, and I'm just closing my second column here, and I'm opening the third column. So in the third column, I have only two fields, last name and date of birth. For last name, I am just taking a text field and giving the label as a last name and value and save into. After that, for date of birth field, I just taken a date field. Same thing, label I am giving the date of birth and value save into for the date field. I think this is enough for you today. Why? Because the first day you are just writing a 64 lines of field code. It is too tough for a developer on the first day. So you just go ahead, and if you have any doubts, please ask tomorrow.